Okay, hello everybody. I believe that I am live right now, and that is really good news. I am happy to be live here with you again, as always. Let me just get things set up here. While I am setting up, please, if you could, tell me where you're from. I'd love to know where you're watching from. There we go. Perfect. Let me know where you're from. I'm talking to you right now from Korea, as some of you may know. I'm living on Jeju Island. That's where I have been living for the past year and a half, and it is a lovely Friday evening here on Jeju Island. 8 o'clock p.m. Where are you watching from? Let me know. We've got 3 people watching now. Okay, hello to you 3 people. 5 people, great. Okay, so if you don't know, if this is your first time here, my name is Jacob from jacobteacher.com, and I am an English teacher. I make YouTube videos about English, everything English related, and I focus on culture, art, and society, and how English is used to express all of those things. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm quite active on YouTube. I'm going to be making more videos, going live quite often, hopefully. And I'm going to be announcing when I'm going live, when I'm doing these things, everything that's going on with me on my Facebook channel. So if you haven't already followed me, please follow me on Facebook. That's where I announce a lot of the things that are going on. Also, one last thing, promotion-wise, if you haven't already, I have a free ebook available for download. The ebook is called 4 Things You Must Do to Get Better at Speaking English. And in this book, I present some of my tips for people who are studying English, looking to become more fluent. And not only do you get the free ebook when you sign up, I release weekly videos to my email list in which I answer questions about English. And this is a private video. It only goes out to email subscribers. So again, if you're not already signed up for my email list, you can just follow the link in the description below. Let's look. Hey, Rodrigo from Brazil. How are you doing? Good to see you. Lanya, hello. Pleasure to see you. Ibrahim, I am good. How are you doing? Qatar, watching from Qatar. That's great. And I know you're from Canada but live in Korea. Lanya, you've been here before. Yes, I apologize. I have to say the same things sometimes because some people are new. Mahdi from Iran. Pleasure. Thanks. Pleasure to see you. Thanks for dropping in. We're going to talk about a phrasal verb today, and I have the chat window open, so please, if you have a question, if you want to say something, leave a message in the chat, and I will try and comment on it. I'll try and talk to you. Again, thank you so much for stopping in. It's really a pleasure to talk to everyone from around the world. This is so cool. I've just started doing this, and it's quite amazing being able to talk to all of you from around the world. So let's get started. We have a lot to talk about today. I'm going to just switch my window over here. Oh, never mind. I've been on this window the whole time. Okay, so we're going to talk about the word, the phrasal verb, give up. Now, give up, it's a phrasal verb, of course, and it is a very common phrasal verb. People use it a lot in English. What's really nice about this phrasal verb in particular is, unlike other phrasal verbs that have many, many, many different meanings, give up, it kind of has a similar meaning. We use it in slightly different ways depending on the context, but if you understand what it means generally, then you'll be able to understand what it means probably whenever you hear it used. It's one of those phrasal verbs that you don't have to memorize like 4 or 5 totally separate meanings, like some other phrasal verbs. So that's really nice. And hopefully by the end of this lesson, whenever you hear the phrasal verb give up used, you'll be able to understand what it means. So let's get started with a very basic definition. It's a phrasal verb, and it means to stop making an effort. So if you're doing something, you stop doing that thing, you stop working towards some goal. Imagine that you're reading a book, and you're reading and reading and reading, and eventually you get kind of bored. Maybe it's not such an interesting book, so you say to yourself, I give up. I give up. I'm not going to read this book anymore. I'm going to stop making an effort. I'm not going to worry about finishing it. I will stop. I give up. Okay? So it's an irregular verb, give, which means that it is not conjugated with the normal ed ending. We conjugate it, the past tense of give is gave, of course. So at present, you can say, I give up. Past, you can say, I gave up. When I was younger, I used to play hockey. When I was around 11 years old, I gave up playing hockey. I stopped playing hockey. I stopped going to hockey practice. I gave up playing hockey. Let me just check. Hi, Jacob Teacher. Hi from Thailand. Hi, Satawut. I apologize if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining my lesson, and thank you all. Let's just quickly keep going here. And the past participle of give is given. So you can say, I've given up. That's an example using the present perfect. I've given up drinking alcohol, for example, which is not true. Actually, tonight, after this live lesson, it's a beautiful evening, like I said, and I have not given up alcohol, so I'm going to go to the beach with my girlfriend, and we're going to drink wine together on the beach, and it will be very romantic, I'm sure. Let's keep going. Actually, before we keep going to the next part, for those of you who are watching, I'd love for you to give me some examples. Try and use give up in a sentence. Whatever you want, try and just use it in a sentence. Type a sentence out. Don't worry about making mistakes. In fact, you should be excited about making mistakes because it's just an opportunity for you to learn, to grow as an English speaker. So try and use give up in a sentence. I'm going to keep my eye on the chat box and see. Okay, we've got a good sentence from Lanya. I've given up learning Korean. Okay, Korean was too hard, I guess. You've given up learning Korean. Why did you give up learning Korean? I'm curious to know. Can you tell me why did you give up learning Korean? And anyone else, please, yes, leave an example of a sentence. I'll try and comment on it. Great sentence, Lanya. Keep up the good work. I gave up learning English by book, Madi says. I gave up learning English by book. Okay. Interesting sentence. Very good. So you stopped reading books then to learn English. Maybe you're watching me for one. So maybe you watch other online YouTubers teach English. Very good sentence. Ibrahim, we have, I told my friend to give up smoking. Excellent sentence there. And I hope your friend does give up smoking. Smoking is very dangerous. So good for you for telling your friend to give up smoking. You can tell your friend that I say he or she should give up smoking too. Okay? Very good sentences. I'm very impressed so far. Feel free again to just keep commenting, leaving example sentences. I'll give you one example myself. About a month ago, maybe 2 months ago now, I injured my shoulder. And since I injured my shoulder, since the injury, I've given up working out. I've given up working out. It means I'm not exercising. I'm not trying to exercise anymore until my shoulder feels better. So I've given up working out. Let's keep going. I'm going to look at some examples, a few more. Now, if you've followed me, you'll know that I like to give you real examples. So I'm going to look at 3 examples, and all of these sentences are headlines from various news outlets, okay? So they are headlines of news stories, and they're less than 1 week old. Maybe about 2 hours ago, I searched on Google and I pulled these examples from the internet, from real headlines. So let's look at the first example. This is from the Philippine Daily Inquirer, and it is a headline that reads, "What did Raymond Gutierrez give up to get his toned body?" I want you to tell me, what do you think this sentence means? What do you think this headline means? I'm going to read it one more time. What did Raymond Gutierrez give up to get his toned body? Okay, so think about that and tell me in the comments section, what do you think this means? Okay, thanks. We have a message from Lanya. Thanks, I gave up learning Korean because I've started learning English. Okay, yes, and it's learning one language is a lot of work, so I can understand why you would only want to learn one language at a time. It's learning one language is hard enough as it is. You're right, Lanya. Thank you for the sentence. Now, while you think about this headline, remember that if you are someone who is writing a headline, if it's your job to write headlines, your goal is to get your reader to stay on your page on the internet or to hold that newspaper and continue reading for as long as possible. So many times when you see a headline, the headline was professionally written so that you would read the rest of the article. We call this sometimes, especially when it's on the internet, we call this clickbait. Bait, when you're fishing, you have bait on the end of your rod. And bait is used to attract fish in the sea. So when a fish comes and it sees the bait, a worm, let's say, on the end of your fishing rod, the fish will come up, bite the hook, it will bite at the bait, and you will reel in the fish. We say clickbait on the internet because sometimes people will write really exciting titles that you'll see the title and you'll think, I have to read this article. And when you read the article, you'll realize shortly after that it really has nothing to do with the title at times. And we call that in English clickbait. So that's a fun word that's just come up recently since the internet has become more and more and more popular over the last 20 years or so. Let's go back and see. Hi from Argentina. Estella, hello. How are you? He gave up to exercise, Satawut said. Okay, interesting. Toned body. Good. Muddy, I'm glad you asked. Toned body. So, a toned body, toned basically means muscular and kind of fit, healthy looking, not really big muscular, but just when your muscles are showing nicely. If you exercise a lot, you'll eventually have a toned body. So that is the key word here. Toned means muscular. If you see someone with a toned body, they usually look really fit and healthy. Now, we can get a toned body by doing 2 things, right? We can exercise a lot, or we can change our diet. Typically speaking, if you want to have a toned body, if you want to look really fit and healthy, you have to do those things. You have to change your diet, eat healthy foods, and you have to exercise. So what did Raymond Gutierrez give up? Usually, like I said, with the diet, maybe he had to give up some of the foods that he regularly eats, right? So maybe he liked pizza a lot before, but he wanted to have a toned body. So maybe he had to give up eating pizza, give up eating carbohydrates, right? Foods with high carbohydrates are not good if you want a toned body. Carbohydrates are they're in bread, they're in rice, potatoes, stuff like that. They're certainly in pizza. So if you want to have a toned body, you have to stop eating carbohydrates maybe give up carbohydrates, and maybe also give up different lifestyle hobbies, right? So maybe Raymond Gutierrez, he enjoyed going to the bar with his friends, but that was before. Now he has a toned body, so he had to give up going to the bar with his friends. So that's probably what this article is talking about. They're talking about things that Raymond Gutierrez had to give up in his life in order to have his toned body. I hope that makes sense. And I didn't read the article myself, so who knows what Raymond Gutierrez had to give up. Maybe if you want, if you're up for a challenge, you can go and read the article yourself and tell me in a message. Hi, Kyung Kim from Korea. Hello, nice to see you. Thank you, Jacob. I have to go now. We will watch the replay. Satawat, thank you so much. A pleasure to see you again. Kyung Kim, new in YouTube. Great to see you. Great. Okay. Here we go. Let's keep going. I'm just going to take a sip of water here. So, this is from The Guardian, and it reads, "Why humans must not give up the quest for Mars." Once again, why humans must not give up the quest for Mars. So, why don't you tell me, what do you think this means? A quest, I'll give you a hint, right? A quest is basically a long search or a journey that you go on. It's a long search for something. You want to get somewhere. That's a quest. If you know the movie Lord of the Rings, they go on a long quest in that movie. So again, why humans must not give up the quest for Mars. Another hint, humans right now, we're trying to get to Mars, right? We're building all sorts of technology to help us get to Mars. Elon Musk, the CEO of SpaceX and Tesla and all sorts of other things, he is leading the charge. He's leading us, hopefully, to Mars. That's his goal. So what do you think this sentence means? Kyung Kim, like homework. We must not. Okay, Kyung Kim, I'm not quite sure exactly what you mean, like homework. We must not give up. Okay, I think I understand. You could say, so let's talk about this. Why humans must not give up the quest for Mars. We're trying to get to Mars right now. We're on a quest to get to Mars. Why humans must not, why we should not stop trying to get to Mars. So Kyung Kim, it's like our homework, right? We have to do it. We should not stop trying to get to Mars. And in this article, the rest of the article gives reasons for why we should want to go to Mars, why we must keep trying and keep fighting to get to Mars. Because someday the Earth will not have enough space to live on. That is true, Madi. That could be a very real concern, right? If population keeps going up and up and up, we only have so much space, so what happens? Well, if we get to Mars, that's one solution, perhaps. English Like a Native says, "Hi, Jacob. Hello. Nice to see you. Thanks for dropping in." It means we have to quest for Mars. Lanya, yes, you're correct. I apologize. and humans must fight to achieve their goals. Ibrahim, very good point. We must fight to achieve our goals. I agree. Let's keep going. I have one more example from a headline, and this one is a little interesting, as you will see. This is Chinchilla News. This is from Australia. And it reads, "This is what happens when you give up porn." One more time. This is what happens when you give up porn. So, what does this mean? Well, give up porn. So, porn is short for pornography, right? Pornography addiction is a very big problem for many people. Many people, they struggle with pornography addiction. They watch too much pornography. So in this headline, the word "this" is referring to everything below the article. Remember, as I said, when you're writing a headline, you want your reader to read the rest of the article. So this is an example of a headline that grabs our attention, and it makes you want to read the rest of the article. So in this article, the writer presents reasons or examples of things that happen when people give up porn. Give up in this case means stop watching porn. So if you stop watching porn, this is what will happen to you. Again, there's a conditional there. If you stop watching porn, this is what will happen to you. And this, again, is in the article. So you have to read the article to find out. Anna is here. I'm glad to see her face. Good. It's Anna. Nice to see you, Anna. Oh, Anna, hello. Yes, okay. I was just emailing Anna. Right. Anna, hello. Nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Let's keep on going. Now, some of you may know this woman. Her name is Barbara. I'm going to mispronounce her last name. Barbara Corcoran, I believe. Barbara, I apologize if I mispronounced your name. She is she's very, very successful in business. She has millions and millions of dollars, many successful businesses. Very recently, well, actually not very recently, she's been doing it for a while. She's become more famous in public because of her involvement in the show Shark Tank. Now, maybe some of you know this show. If you don't, I'd highly recommend watching it, especially if you're trying to learn English for business purposes, if you're interested in learning business English. Basically, the show is about people who have ideas for businesses, so maybe product ideas, whatever. They want to start their own business in some way. And they come on to this show and they present their idea to what they call sharks. And the sharks on the show are investors. They're people who have a lot of money to invest. Barbara is one of the sharks on this show. And so the presenters, the people with the idea, they present their idea to the sharks, they pitch their idea, and the sharks, if they like the idea, they invest in the idea. They give money to this person, to this person's business, and they start working together. So it's a really fascinating show, very entertaining, and also excellent to watch if you are someone who's particularly interested in business English. Now, Barbara, in particular, is probably my favorite shark. And mainly because if you watch the show, she will always let the other sharks talk first. She'll always sit back, close her mouth, and just listen. And just listen and listen and listen to what everyone else has to say. And sometimes the other sharks, they will fight about things, they'll say a bunch of different things, and she will just stay back and listen. And eventually, she'll say something, she'll start talking, and it will be so smart, and she will not have talked for so long that as a viewer, it's almost as if you forget she's in the room. So she's really an interesting person, and very, very smart. So definitely watch that show and check out Barbara. Now, Barbara, why is she here? Well, she said this quote, okay? This is one famous thing that she said. It's a little difficult, but I want to read it. We will break it down. I will explain what it means, and we will understand it together. So let's read. I gave up years ago on the concept that you could actually have balance in your life. I think it's a phantom chase. What does this mean? There's quite a few difficult words here. I gave up years ago on the concept. Concept, the word concept, it basically means idea. Whenever you see the word concept, you can think of it as idea. So here she's talking about the idea that you could have balance in your life. Okay, well, what is balance? What's balance? Balance, imagine you're on a bike and you're riding a bike. You are balancing on the bike. Okay, you're not falling. Your weight is evenly distributed and you're riding. You're balancing on your bike. Another way we talk about balance, we all have different areas of our life, right? So we have family, we have our friends, we have our jobs, other hobbies that we like to do. We all have many things in our life. Excuse me for 1 second. We all have many things in our life that require time. And we talk about balancing life in this way. So if you live a well-balanced life, maybe it would mean that you're sleeping well, you're getting enough time sleeping, you're spending time with your friends, you're spending a good amount of time exercising and being physically active, you're spending a good amount of time at work and you're satisfied in your career, and you're just spending a very good amount of time across all different areas of your life. That means a well-balanced life, and it's a very common way that we use the word balance. The last difficult word here is the word phantom. Now, phantom, it basically just means a ghost. So phantom, she's talking about a ghost here. That's what she means. So a phantom chase, and she's saying a phantom chase, it's like chasing a ghost. Okay, it's like chasing a ghost. Now, with that, let's read one more time and see what this quote means. I gave up years ago on the concept that you could actually have balance in your life. I think it's a phantom chase. So she's saying she doesn't believe in the idea that one could have balance in one's life. I gave up on the concept. I don't believe in the idea anymore. Now, she's a very successful person, so we can imagine that she probably spent a lot of time on her career and on her business and on building her business, and maybe not as much time as she would have liked with her friends or her family or other things in her life. And she's saying that she thinks it's impossible. You have to sacrifice the time you spend in certain areas. You're going to make sacrifices. Things aren't always going to balance out. That's what she's saying here. Now, I want to ask you a question. This will be the last question today. I have to get going, unfortunately. But do you agree with Barbara here? Do you think that balance in one's life is possible? Do you agree? Let me know in the chat section. I'm very curious to see. Do you agree? Let's see what's going on. Great work, Jacob. I have to go. Meeting now. I'll catch up with you later. Bye, everyone. Lanya, Daro, what does break down mean? Lanya, I say that a lot. Thanks for asking, Lanya. I do say that a lot. Break down, the way I used it, it means explain. So imagine you have a very complicated quote like I just read. Break down, you're breaking it down into smaller sections to explain so that it's easier. And I often use that phrasal verb. So that's what that means, break down. Kyunga Kim, nice smiley face there. I will smile back at you. Hello. Satwat, I came back. I think mainly work, healthy, and family. Okay. Satwat, thanks for returning. Nice to see you. Barbara says that we shouldn't have balance in our life because maybe we can't reach our goals. Interesting, Madhi. That's a very interesting way of thinking about it. Now, for me, when I read this quote, what she's saying more so is not that we shouldn't, but that it's impossible, that as much as we try to achieve balance, it's impossible. We can't do it, okay? So I think that's, to me, that's what she's saying. Again, in my opinion, of course, we have to try as best we can and balance our life. Maybe Barbara would disagree. Maybe Barbara would agree with you. But I think as best we can, we have to try and balance our life. Kyunga Kim says, it's hard to have perfect balance in life, but it's possible. Okay, interesting. So we have some people who are positive, who agree with Barbara, and some people who disagree, it seems, and it's quite interesting. I argue in some cases and agree in some cases. That's great. And listen, again, let me say, I've said this before, when we're looking at these quotes, when we're discussing English, whether it's in songs, arts, whatever, everyone it's all open to interpretation. That's what's beautiful about talking about these things, is you can agree with someone, disagree with someone, and you can learn from what other people think about a certain quote or a certain song. So I really enjoy agreeing and disagreeing with all of you about your interpretations, and I think it's a really great way to learn English, by discussing these things. So that's all for me today. Unfortunately, I have to get going. It's been such a pleasure talking to all of you again. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm going to try and do this pretty regularly, at least live on my YouTube channel 2 times a week. I'm going to test out different times in the coming weeks and see which time works best for the most people and for myself. But again, if you haven't already followed me on Facebook, I will be announcing most of my plans on Facebook. And again, if you haven't signed up for my email list, I regularly contact people through there, and I send out a weekly email video. So if you're not on my email list, if you haven't downloaded my free ebook, the link to that is in the description below. I believe that's everything. Thank you all so much. It's been an awesome time again, as always. I really enjoy speaking to all of you live and meeting everyone new from around the world. So thank you so much. It's really been a pleasure. I hope you have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And I will see you another time. Bye-bye. See you later.